Weakers, tweakers, thrill freaking seekers. This is another episode of freaking a great, freaking hilarious, freaking episode of freaking Our Week in Review, starring freaking myself, freaking Taylor, the freaking Sandman, freaking Lofton on WAYO LP freaking Rochester. Weakers, tweakers, thrill seekers. I have in the studio with me to my freaking left, formerly freaking Mike Doug freaking Jordan, now just known as freaking Doug the freaking Slug Jordan, or just Doug freaking Jordan, as you will, or Doug Sack if you freaking want to. And then coming all the way from freaking Seattle, freaking Washington, via freaking satellite, freaking New York, Sandy the Sandman Farkas, Weakers, tweakers, thrill seekers, and the freaking panel. Start your freaking engines. This is Our Week in Review. Weakers, tweakers, thrill, freaking seekers. It has been 1 week since we last spoke, and we are so freaking hot and freaking for you. Geez Louise, down on my knees. We got a great freaking show for you planned. We got great news and discussions. We also have a fact check coming on a little bit later on in the show. But before we get to that, we're going to go into our week. Yep, that's why it's called freaking Our Week in Freaking Review, because that's what we freaking do, and that's what we're always going to freaking talk about. Let's just jump into Sandy the Sandman freaking Farkas. How you doing? How was your weekend? How freaking are you?
Freaking levels are freaking through the freaking roof. Never been freaking and please don't freaking interrupt me. And as I was saying, I'm freaking never been here.
That's freaking hilarious, and I'm so freaking happy and freaking for you.
I'm freaking drunk too. Completely freaking drunk.
So, last week, that's so freaking hilarious how freaking drunk you are. Last week, Geez Louise, down on my freaking knees, you told us a little freaking tale, a little freaking yarn about a freaking guy breaks into a home, to steal documents, and that freaking guy, yep, you freaking guessed it, that was you. That was freaking Sandy the Sandman Farkas. Any repercussions? Last we checked, you did vomit, and you might have taken a freaking shit in the freaking apartment. Since then, has the hand of God, as they say, come down freaking upon you?
You're 100% right. I did freaking freaking did puke as well. Basically, yeah. Dick, as I expected, for Weakers and Tweakers who don't know, he's the co-host of Dick is a freaking piece of and I freaking broke into his house and excuse me, and I was there to freaking steal freaking documents, and in classic Dick freaking fashion, yep, you guessed it, he's making a whole freaking to-do about the whole freaking thing. He's making a whole freaking he making a whole big freaking issue about it, but while I was freaking in his freaking house breaking in, I had a feeling. I said, you know what? I need to make sure this doesn't freaking look like me. So I freaking covered my tracks pretty freaking well.
And how did you freaking do that? And how freaking were you?
I was freaking. Basically, I said if all that's missing when they freaking find this place is freaking documents, and there's freaking puke, and there's freaking poop, I said they're gonna freaking know it's me. So I said, well, so now I gotta freaking cover my tracks. So I stole a whole bunch of his freaking wife's jewelry too.
So he just thinks at this freaking point that it was just a freaking jewelry thief, a freaking cat burglar.
Yeah, it looks like he got freaking cat burglarized, stole a bunch of his freaking wife's freaking jewelry, and freaking stole a freaking remote to his freaking television set.
Doug Jordan, you lived for a while in a freaking garage after your wife kicked you out after we threw a freaking hilarious freaking barbecue at your freaking house. And that was quite some time you were living in a garage, maybe about 6 freaking months, and you had a television set with no remote. Tell Weakers and Tweakers out there how difficult it is for someone to live that way without a freaking remote and without basically any way to change the freaking channel.
Well, I mean, I don't think I need to tell people how difficult. I mean, if you have a TV and you know you have a remote, you know it's pretty hard to operate a TV without a remote. So I mean, why do I gotta tell people about that?
Freaking good input, Doug.
Yeah. Well, that's freaking circle does not get the freaking square, Doug.
And there's one more thing I freaking need. So I realize that I've been freaking discussing this on your freaking show. So I'm gonna go ahead and need to get that freaking contact information from freaking Arnold again, because we're gonna need to freaking break into freaking Wayo and get these freaking tapes and have them freaking destroyed.
Yeah, and he is definitely a freaking man. Every time I look into his beady, bulging, fat little eyes in his giant freaking head, he's a weird guy. He has a freaking giant freaking head, tiny freaking eyes, tiny nose, tiny freaking mouth. It looks there's a lot of freaking unused freaking real estate, if you know what I'm talking about, weakers and tweakers out there. His ears are tiny. That might be why he freaking doesn't respond. Maybe he's not hearing me, but he seems to know when I look deep inside those freaking beady little tiny freaking eyes that there's something, that I'm saying something to him. I'm not sure he knows what language I'm speaking into. I'm not sure he knows what language anything is, and he definitely doesn't know how to use his freaking mouth. He does know how to use his hands, and weakers and tweakers know best. Yeah, that's for freaking lighting fires, because he is a freaking firebug, and he's absolutely hilarious. I will give you his contact information. And I have been trying to talk your situation up quite a freaking bit to him. Weakers and tweakers, yes, all hands are on freaking deck. We are at freaking war. Finally, it has finally freaking happened. Yes, you guessed it. We are at freaking war with freaking Evan Dawson of WXXI, which is the second worst radio station in the history of the world.
Yeah. So, Doug, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and freaking get on board with freaking Arnold. You're gonna need to freaking break into freaking WAYO LBGTQ Rochester and freaking steal those freaking tapes and have them. And if I'm being freaking honest with you, you need to have them destroyed.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, no, I'm not going to do that. And second of all, I mean, why are you going to give him his contact information when Sandy called him last week and the guy didn't even respond when he was trying to talk to him?
Okay. Didn't say a freaking word.
Yeah. The thing about it, Doug, is with all the people that live basically in the freaking group home that I've been freaking sentenced to freaking live in, geez Louise, down on my knees, you got to hammer everything into these freaking guys' heads. Every single one of them. I'll say, that's my freaking cheese sandwich. Don't freaking touch my freaking cheese sandwich. And then they'll go and freaking touch it. And I'll go, did I tell you? What did I freaking tell you? I'm going to end up breaking one of these guys' freaking fingers.
I mean, if you do that, you'll probably end up going to jail, don't you think? You're under heavy security I'm going
to go ahead and cut you right off there because my freaking dad freaking cut my freaking finger off. And he's still freaking out there. So
yeah. He's still a freaking large.
Yeah, but I mean, your dad wasn't under as heavy of surveillance that Taylor is being in the psychiatric center.
Yeah, freaking surveillance would have been a freaking good idea when I was getting my freaking finger cut off.
Yeah, well, also, here's the thing, and I got off once, basically, I've gotten off many freaking times, but in terms of the law, I got off one time, basically, because they said I was not fit to stand trial. I don't understand why that wouldn't, basically, go forward from here on out with all things that I freaking do. Basically, I can go to a freaking Taco Bell, pull my freaking trousers down, make a mess on a freaking tortilla shell, roll it into a freaking burrito and freaking eat it at a freaking table, and they can't freaking touch me. And I have not done that yet, and if they ever freaking let me out for my own freaking free time, if we ever get any freaking yard time there, if you know what I freaking mean, yeah, I'm gonna go straight there and just do just that. And then I'm gonna show them the freaking certificate I got from the freaking state of freaking New York saying I'm not fit to stand freaking trial, so you better not freaking press charges.
Wait a minute. What are we freaking talking about? How did...
Weakers, tweakers, thrill freaking seekers. This is a freaking hilarious freaking episode. Mike Doug Jordan, always one of basically the funniest freaking guy we've ever freaking talked to. Hilarious freaking life stories of freaking debauchery and depravity, and he's a sexual nuisance. Doug Jordan, how was your week? How you doing? And how freaking are you?
Yeah, I mean, like I say this every week, I'm not and I wish you would stop asking me that question. Second of all, week was pretty good. Back to school's coming up pretty soon, and I take my son back to school shopping with my wife, so we did that.
And what did you get your son to? You get him some freaking dungarees or freaking? They still got freaking Oshkosh freaking bagash, or what is the kids wearing these freaking days?
Freaking bugle boy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, we didn't get him. We got him, a couple pairs of pants. I don't know what the brand were. I think they might have been Levi's. Yeah, they were Levi's. And then I think we mostly went and got him, school supplies like pencils and pens and markers and stuff like that.
Couple of freaking backwards hats, a skateboard, maybe some ripped up jeans. You're painting a pretty freaking clear picture of the kind of kid you're freaking raising. I get it. Got freaking Bart Simpson back at freaking home.
Well, no, he's not really a Bart Simpson, but he, we just got him back to school supplies.
Wait a minute. Who the hell is freaking Bart Simpson?
From the show The Simpsons, I'm pretty sure is what he was saying. Bart Simpson.
Doug, what the freaking heck are you talking about?
The show, I think it's on cable. They're all yellow. They all got big eyes.
It's on the freaking Fox News channel, and it's and Jeez Louise Down on My Knees. It's starring freaking Bart Simpson, freaking Homer Simpson, Marge Simpson, freaking Baby Simpson, and Lisa Simpson, and freaking Cartman, and it's freaking absolutely freaking hilarious. Weakers and Tweakers. I can't tell you to go see it because it's not in freaking theaters. Also because I can't tell you to do anything on this freaking terrible radio station that we're broadcasting through. But if you do happen to see it, Weakers and Tweakers, you will not be freaking disappointed. It's freaking hilarious. A lot of pranks being pulled on guys like freaking Homer Simpson, who actually Doug Jordan sounds quite a bit like and also looks quite a bit like, and except he's not a freaking heavy fellow, but he is. Jeez Louise Down on My Knees. He's losing his freaking hair.
I don't think I look anything like Homer Simpson. So,
Doug, why do you keep saying it like a freaking horse's ass?
That's how the Simpsons.
Yeah, that sounds completely freaking wrong.
Well, how are you saying it?
The Simpsons.
Just freaking Simpsons.
Yeah, the Simpsons.
Doug, what are you? Doug, Doug, what are you freaking doing?
That's what. No, say it again.
Simpson.
See?
Doug Jordan, get the freaking peanut butter dead dog out of your freaking ears and get on the freaking ball, because Jeez Louise Down on My Knees, you got a freaking long way to go if you want to freaking get back into our freaking good graces. And mispronouncing one of the greatest shows of all time, The Simpsons, isn't going to freaking do it. Weakers, Tweakers, Thrill Seekers, Tadia Richer is not here again. We did hear from him, and at the end of last week's episode, we had a little freaking surprise call-in. Threw that in the mix for you, just for your freaking listening pleasure. Sounds like he's doing freaking great, trying to get rid of his cancer still, to no freaking avail, but he sounds like he's healing up. I imagine he's still walking with a cane, which is absolutely freaking hilarious. Weakers and Tweakers out there know that best. And in terms of my freaking week, I've had a great freaking week. And Jeez Louise Down on My Knees. I'm getting very freaking used to living in a freaking, basically in a freaking group home for freaking and mentally ill people. And Jeez Louise Down on My Knees. I got a lot of freaking spare time on my hands. And Doug, I've been thinking a lot about you. I've been thinking a lot about the way that you're freaking treated on the show, and a lot about the things that you do here. And I was starting to feel a little bit bad about some things that happened last week, and I got a big freaking surprise for you. And I'm not going to reveal it until later on in the freaking show. But before we go ahead with the freaking show, I want you to go ahead and guess what's the freaking surprise that I have planned for you, because you're going to freaking absolutely freaking love it. So think about something that you would absolutely love that would make your freaking day, make your whole life freaking better. And Jeez Louise Down on My Knees, guess what that would be. Go ahead and guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't want to guess, because as soon as I guess something, you're going to do the opposite, and it's probably going to be something bad that you're going to do to me or something like that. Or
just
you're going to make up another lie. Okay, then you're going to go back.
You're freaking way off on this one.
Yeah, this is a great freaking thing. Sandy and I, we worked together on this one in my freaking spare time, in Sandy's limited free time, and we came up with basically a freaking gift we want to freaking give you, and we're just going to wait for the right freaking time to do it.
Yeah, I'd rather you not wait. I don't like to be surprised, and I definitely don't like to be scared. So if you're going to try and scare me.
Weakers, Tweakers, Thrill Seekers, this is another great episode of Our Week in Review. Before we go on to Our Week's News and Discussins, we got to get to a quick segment called Our Week's Fact Check from Wikipedia. See, last week we had a little freaking problem here, and Doug Jordan was the perpetrator of that problem, as per freaking usual. And Jeez Louise Down on My Knees, we were doing a story about Amanda Knox and her new freaking husband, freaking Christopher freaking Robin, and Jeez Louise Down on My Knees, they're having a special space theme wedding, and Doug Jordan said that Christopher Robin isn't a real freaking person, and I went on freaking Wikipedia to freaking fact check, as we do here as freaking news reporters and as freaking hilarious freaking hosts. And Jeez Louise Down on My Knees, I found the following freaking information, so I'm gonna go ahead and read it, and then I'll give Doug Jordan a chance to rebuttal, although I don't know what he possibly could say. Christopher Robin appears in Milne's poems, that's A.A. Milne, and in two books, Winnie the Pooh and The House on Pooh Corner. In those books, he is a young boy and one of Winnie the Pooh's best friends. His other friends are freaking Eeyore, Kanga, and Roo, Rabbit, Piglet, Owl, and freaking Tigger. And Jeez Louise Down on My Knees, he is based off of A.A. Milne's actual freaking son. Yep, you freaking guessed it, Christopher freaking Robbins.
What do you want me to... okay,
So she is freaking marrying freaking Christopher Robbins.
No, she's not. This is a freaking fictional character named Christopher Robbins.
He's a real... Christopher Robin is a real freaking boy.
But if Christopher Robin was alive, this was written in 26? If he was still alive, then he would be what? 90 years old?
About a freaking 100, yeah.
Yeah, he'd be exactly 100 freaking years old.
And also,
do the math.
The guy's name was Christopher Robinson, not Christopher Robin. This is what I said last week, too.
Doug, it's the same freaking thing, Doug.
And this is his freaking son. Now you're agreeing with me again. See, you keep going back and forth. First I said, it's Christopher Robbins. Then you said, it's in no way related to freaking Christopher Robbins. Then I said, oh, it's Christopher Robbins' son, whose name is also freaking Christopher Robbins, but they didn't give him a freaking junior in his name because they didn't want to freaking denigrate him like the way that you did with your son, calling him Mike Doug Jr. And geez Louise, down on my knees, I check Wikipedia, and here's freaking proof. And you can't freaking argue with Wikipedia because geez Louise, down on my knees, it's absolutely freaking, it's full freaking proof. Trust me, I've freaking tried. I've tried to prank freaking Wikipedia many freaking times.
I mean, well, okay, first of all, Wikipedia is definitely not true. Well, it's true enough. I mean, I would say it's all user-submitted content, so you don't even know. Somebody could log into Christopher Robbins and then say, something like his hair was green.
I tried to say that he freaking had a boyfriend named freaking Sanjay, and I was going to do a completely different hilarious freaking segment all about Christopher Robbins and how you were right and that he didn't exist, but this is the story about him, and I was going to make it just like your freaking life. Couldn't freaking get anywhere near there.
Okay.
They freaking blocked me.
All right, regardless of whatever you just said, I was saying last week, it's Christopher Robinson, not Christopher Robbins, the Winnie the Pooh character. The guy has a different name, which is Christopher Robinson.
Don't really understand what you're freaking saying to me.
Okay. All right. I don't care.
Weakers, tweakers, thrill seekers, we here at Our Week in Review like to open up a community freaking dialogue. That's one of the many things that freaking Evan Dawson's freaking stole from us, along with our freaking gags, our pranks, and our freaking segments. This segment is called Our Week's News and Discussions. We do it every freaking week. You know the freaking drill. But if you want to comment or add a suggestion, say what we're doing right, say what we're freaking doing wrong, go ahead and call 513-914-6201. That's the Our Week freaking hotline. We'll play your message live on the freaking air, and then we'll probably freaking put you on freaking blast. Last week, former Saved by the Bell star Mario Lopez apologized for insensitive remarks concerning transgender children, according to Jezebel. During an interview with conservative commentator Candace Owens, Lopez was asked about his thoughts on the weird trend of children picking their own gender, in her words. Look, I'm never one to tell anyone how to parent their kids, obviously, and I think if you come from a place of love, you really can't go wrong, Lopez said. But at the same time, my God, if you're 3 years old and you're saying you're feeling a certain way, or you think you're a boy or a girl or whatever the case may be, I think it's dangerous as a parent to make them this determination. Then, then, geez Louise, this guy's a freaking blabber freaking mouth. Then you're going to be a freaking boy or girl, whatever the case may be. It's sort of alarming, and my gosh, I just think the repercussions later on, geez Louise, down on my knees. He's just freaking blathering on. Lopez later apologized after the backlash from the live interview went viral. The comments I made were ignorant and insensitive, and I now have a deeper understanding of how hurtful they were. I have been and always will be an ardent supporter of the LGBT community, and am going to use this opportunity to better educate myself moving forward. I will be more informed and more thoughtful. So it sounds like he freaking learned his freaking lesson. But what I want to say, and I want to send this around to the panel, starting with Sandy the Sandman freaking Farkas, how would the other stars from freaking Saved by the Bell handle something like this? And
yeah, please don't. I'm glad you freaking asked that question, and I think what you're really asking is how would freaking Screech handle it? Because he's the only cast member from freaking Saved by the Bell that's worth a damn. And boy oh boy, he's just got the freaking most hilarious freaking porno that I've ever seen in my freaking life. Yeah. And he freaking does the unthinkable. He gives a freaking girl a freaking dirty Sanchez, which for weakers and tweakers out there who don't freaking know what that is, he freaking sticks his finger up and he freaking wipes a mustache.
Yeah.
What was your freaking question?
No, I think you freaking got it. Doug Jordan, pick another Saved by the Bell star and say how they would handle something like this, some sort of public humiliation and something where that basically you put your freaking foot in your mouth and to a community that doesn't need any stomping upon. And by the way, we support LGBT community here at WAYL LP Rochester. We always have, we always will, and we always freaking do.
Well, I mean,
and Doug Jordan's freaking part of it.
Well, I think, if it was Zach, from Saved by the Bell, he would probably keep doing bad stuff until he eventually got caught, and then he'd have to say he was freaking sorry.
Weakers and tweakers, just so you know, Doug Jordan is part of the G in the LGBTQ freaking community. He has a freaking boyfriend named freaking Sanjay, and yeah, that's how he's freaking part of it.
Yeah, and we celebrate that here.
Well, yeah. No, I'm not personally, but if somebody were, that wouldn't be a problem. So
now, do you think freaking Zach would get on his giant freaking hilarious freaking cell phone, call up Mr. Belding with some hilarious prank so that it made it look like Mr. Belding made those freaking comments, and then he'd freaking slunk out and not learn his freaking lesson? That sounds like more like the Zach that I freaking know.
Yeah, but that sounds about right.
And then the freaking yappy girl that Slater's always freaking trying to have sex with, she would get in his face about it, and then he'd have to freaking trick her using his giant cell phone somehow with a guy in two places sort of type scheme. And geez Louise, down on my knees, freaking hilarity ensues. And then there's freaking Screech. He steps on a freaking banana peel, and then he falls over, and his finger goes right into the freaking rear end of one of the three girls. And geez Louise, down on my knees, he gets out and he wipes it on his own freaking mustache.
Yeah, and then this is where it gets freaking good. He gets freaking stuck in a locker for freaking a whole day.
Yeah.
And he's freaking in there. He's in there and he's freaking playing with himself and he's screaming freaking bloody murder.
Yeah. Yeah, Weakers, Tweakers, Thrill Seekers, I'm sure we all can reminisce endlessly about that show because it was freaking absolutely freaking hilarious. And I watched it as an adult, actually, mostly. So, and it was absolutely just freaking hilarious. I liked it much more than the show that was popular at the freaking time called the freaking Seinfeld, so... Last week, a Brazilian gang leader tried to escape from prison by dressing up as his daughter while she visited him and walking out of the front door in her place, according to the Associated Press. Clavino da Silva, also known as Shorty, why don't they just say freaking Shorty, tried to escape from prison after switching outfits with his daughter, applying a wig, and using a silicone mask to make himself look like a 19-year-old woman. According to authorities, da Silva's plan was to leave his daughter in jail. Her role in the activity is now being investigated. Da Silva was a prominent member of the Red Command, a Brazilian gang known for drug smuggling. According to the prison guards, his fidgeting nervousness during his attempted escape gave him away. Da Silva will now be transferred to a maximum security freaking prison. So, this freaking guy dresses up. This basically sounds like the most hilarious freaking movie I ever heard in my freaking life.
Yeah, and that movie is called freaking Mrs. Doubtfire. And this movie, and this is freaking hilarious. And we can't tell you to go freaking see it, but if it's in freaking theaters, you should check it out. I'm sorry, I'm freaking so freaking drunk.
Weakers, Tweakers, Thrill Seekers, Doug Jordan, I want to point this at you actually. You're a father. If this guy here he's clearly freaking dressing up as a teenage girl just to try to get his freaking daughter back. You know, because he wants to relate to her, because poor guy's behind freaking bars. And he's trying to relate to her the only way he freaking knows how, by dressing exactly like her, wearing a silicone mask made out of a mold of her own face, and wearing a wig exactly like her hair and her own clothing. And geez Louise, down on my knees, is there anything freaking wrong with that? Or should we celebrate something like that when a father takes the time, probably unlike yourself, to get to know his freaking daughter and to really see what it feels like to be inside her freaking shoes because he was wearing them?
Well, I mean, okay. Well, I don't think he was necessarily doing that. That's definitely a different take on the story than I would have thought. I would think he's just trying to get out of jail. So... I think he wasn't thinking that he was getting to know his daughter at all. I think he was just thinking, I'm gonna get out of jail.
Doug, what's your favorite scene from freaking Mrs. Doubtfire?
Yeah.
like the scene where Pierce Brosnan is choking on the shrimp, and then Mrs. Doubtfire gives him the Heimlich, and then the mask falls off, and then you find out that it was freaking Robin Williams.
That's a freaking wrong answer. The best freaking part is when he freaking has to stick his face in the freaking cake, and he says freaking hello.
Yeah, that's freaking hilarious, and everybody knows that's the best freaking part.
I mean, I was gonna say, but that's the obvious best part of the movie. But my favorite part is when she's got to give freaking Pierce Brosnan the Heimlich maneuver. I think it's freaking funny
because you're imagining yourself as Pierce Brosnan, and you're imagining Sunjae as freaking Mrs. Doubtfire, and you're imagining that neither of you are wearing freaking trousers. And good for you. We freaking celebrate that.
I wasn't saying that. I like the scene because I like when the shrimp flies out of his mouth. I think that's freaking funny.
You like the freaking orientation of the bodies. We get it. It's a beautiful freaking thing, and I like that freaking scene too. So you and I, we're freaking there. Let me hold your hand and that's okay. And
yeah, the old freaking in the rear and out the freaking mouth.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I wasn't saying any of that stuff. So.
You did.
Yeah.
You know what I wanted to bring up was it reminded me of E.T. actually when they have to dress up E.T. like the little girl and pretend E.T. is a little girl. I think that's pretty freaking funny.
Doug, E.T. is not in freaking Mrs. Doubtfire.
No, but E.T. from E.T.
What the heck are you freaking talking about?
The movie E.T. starring freaking E.T.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the freaking film. It's one of my all-time freaking favorite films.
Yeah, well, I was just bringing up how I like that part, and I also freaking like Drunk E.T. because I think that's freaking hilarious too.
Freaking obviously, Doug, Drunk E.T. is the best freaking part of freaking E.T. He's getting in a freaking bathrobe, freaking drunk, making a freaking mess. Freaking hilarious.
Yeah, it's good. I think it's a great film, and I definitely like, it made me hungry for Reese's Pieces after I watched it.
My favorite part from freaking E.T. is when they're in the freaking Dagobah system and he freaking raises the airplane just using the force out of the freaking water. And he says, try it because it's easier than trying. Do, and there is no try. That's what he freaking says. And he's speaking in freaking riddles because he's very similar to the way that me is.
So, well, I don't remember that happening in freaking E.T. because all he freaking says is Elliot, and he says, I'll be right here at the freaking very end of the movie.
No, he also says he wants to freaking phone home. My freaking question, though, is where's his freaking penis?
Yeah.
Well, he's a freaking alien. Maybe he doesn't have a penis.
How does he freaking have sex?
Yeah, there's a limited supply of them. If he doesn't have a penis, he's not gonna have freaking sex.
Maybe his finger is like a freaking penis.
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
Why would I freaking like that? You asked where his freaking penis was, and I said it might be his freaking finger.
Yeah, you said no. You said he doesn't have sex. He just freaking fingers. Then you said he just freaking man.
I definitely did not say that he just fingered. We can go back and check the freaking tapes after the recording, but I did not say that.
But you did say that his freaking finger was full of freaking love, and we all know what that freaking means.
Well, his finger had the power to freaking heal freaking plants.
Yeah, that's what you tell all the freaking guys.
And bring freaking Elliot back to life.
It's freaking hilarious.
You should smell freaking Doug's fingers right now.
I want to freaking smell E.T.'s fingers.
I just want to see his freaking penis. Where's this guy's freaking penis?
Yeah.
Well, he's not a human, so maybe he doesn't have a freaking penis, is all I'm saying.
He is a freaking human, Doug.
Yeah, Doug, the end of the movie is that he's a freaking human, and he goes back to freaking outer space, and freaking, are you telling me that this guy freaking had freaking, you didn't mean to tell me this guy's just freaking fingering himself, or?
No, I'm not saying that he freaking himself. I'm saying he's a freaking alien, and maybe they're so advanced that they don't have to freaking have sex because they're so freaking intelligent.
Last week, Celine Dion made headlines after debuting her new hairstyle, according to Entertainment Tonight. The Canadian singer appeared on the cover of Harper's Bazaar with her hair trimmed into what is most commonly referred to as a bowl cut. The 51-year-old, known for her outlandish outfits and curious hairstyle, shocked fans with her ridiculous new do and oversized bright green fleece on the magazine's Icon issue. So, geez Louise, down on my knees. Freaking Celine Dion, love her freaking music, hate her freaking looks. She's got a freaking bowl cut.
This sounds like a freaking non-story to me. This is a story. It's not freaking about a freaking damn thing, and it shouldn't have been freaking talked about on the freaking radio.
Yeah. Last week, a Pennsylvania woman was arrested after she turned herself in for peeing on potatoes in West Milford Walmart, according to NewsHub. Employees at the superstore were alerted to the incident after noticing a puddle of urine on the produce section floor. Grace Bowen, the perpetrator, was identified by authorities with the help of security camera footage. The 20-year-old turned herself in and was charged with criminal mischief, open lewdness, disorderly conduct, and public freaking drunkenness. So this is another freaking story of a hilarious freaking prank by a freaking one girl named Grace Bowen. And geez Louise, down on my knees, God love her. Doug Jordan, would you eat that freaking potato?
No, why would I eat that freaking potato if it's covered in pee?
It's a little bit freaking kinky.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't eat the potato.
I'm going to go ahead and say freaking wrong again, Doug. Yeah, the answer is yes, you freaking eat the freaking potato.
You would eat a freaking potato covered in pee.
Doug, this isn't a freaking about me. But yes, I freaking absolutely would eat a freaking potato covered in freaking pee. This woman sounds freaking hilarious, and quite honestly, it sounds honestly, I think I'm having freaking feelings.
I gotta feel like there's probably a lot of guys out there who they'd probably pay to freaking eat a freaking pea-covered potato by a nice young lady. Geez Louise, down on my knees. Sandy, do you want to take this time to address Grace Bowen one-on-one and tell her how you freaking feel and where you'll be if she wants to freaking contact you, and maybe she feels the same way about freaking you. And maybe be honest about your freaking height and about your freaking drinking. Grace, now there's just freaking the two of us. I would like to. My name is. First of all, my name is freaking Sandy. Freaking Sandy, freaking Sarah, freaking Sandra. My name is freaking Sandy. My name is freaking Sandy. Jeez Louise. My name is freaking Sandy Sandman. My name is freaking Sandy Sandman Farkas. And I'm freaking almost a freaking shit. A little bit taller. Freaking drunk constantly. You and I have freaking criminal mischief, which, oh, by the way, I've gone on the record before. I do not believe freaking criminal mischief should be a freaking thing. First of all, it's just freaking mischief. Shouldn't become a freaking crime. I also love freaking open lewdness, disorderly conduct, and freaking public drunkenness. I live in freaking Seattle. Yeah.
Call 501. Call freaking Wayo.
Yeah.
Asked to talk to freaking, excuse me, and asked to freaking talk to freaking Sandy. Miss freaking me, but I'll certainly be freaking drunk, and I'll be freaking too.
Last week, after our week exclusive about the bizarre death of Joe Joni, and Sophie Turner's dog Waldo Turner was seen with a new puppy outside their vacation home in Miami, according to People. Turner was photographed giving the dog, a golden retriever puppy, a bath in the couple's in-ground swimming pool. The newest member of the Turner-Jonas gang was revealed to the public on brother Nick Jonas's Instagram story. Turner was seen smiling and cradling the puppy as she stepped off a private jet in Miami. So, geez Louise, down on my knees, I guess it is freaking possible to get over the death of a freaking loved family member and dog member and just replace it basically within 1 week of the tragic death of freaking Waldo, the freaking dead dog that ran into the freaking streets of New York and got hit by an errant vehicle. Now, last week we uncovered, after doing this story, the first part of this freaking story, that freaking Doug Jordan had a dog named a freaking Peanut Butter. A dog he was never able to get over the death of. And I want to take a little page from the freaking Turner Joni book, and we're going to go ahead and turn a new freaking page, and yep, you freaking guessed it. Doug, is there any getting over freaking Peanut Butter? Can you do what freaking Sophie Turner did and freaking move on?
Well, I mean, I'm definitely over the death of my dog. I don't want to talk about it in front of you guys because you're just gonna pick apart everything that I freaking say. And second of all, I just don't
Doug,
want. I want to go ahead.
I want to go ahead and freaking interrupt you right there. Okay. This is the part of the freaking show where we got a big freaking surprise for you. And Sandy and I talked this over quite some freaking bit. We decided that the best thing for you was to force you to get over your freaking dog Peanut Butter's death by getting you a freaking brand new dog. And I'm going to go ahead. We couldn't bring it into the freaking studio because we're not freaking allowed to have freaking pets in here. I tried one time. Name a freaking Donovan. My freaking cat, Maine Coon. But geez Louise, down on my knees, I'm going to freaking show you a picture of freaking your new dog. And I'm going to tell you his freaking name. And this is the freaking picture right here. Go ahead and describe what he looks like. His name is freaking Scruffy. And geez Louise, down on my freaking knees. He's a handsome little freaking devil, I'll tell you that.
Well, he's a dog. He's got brown hair, dark brown hair, brown eyes. It looks like he's got a little mustache.
This is your new freaking dog, Doug.
Yeah, but I didn't
we
want
picked
a
him out
freaking dog.
specifically for you.
We got you a freaking dog.
Yeah, but I can't take care of a freaking dog. Dogs are freaking expensive. I got a kid that's already expensive enough.
I had to freaking Western Union a couple of freaking bucks over to freaking Taylor just to get this freaking dog.
Yeah, and I had to use my freaking government check.
And that's freaking money that I owe you, that I freaking owe you, Doug.
Yeah, I would rather have the money than have a freaking dog.
So congratulations, you owe us both a couple of bucks for this freaking dog. Quite a bit of freaking money. Basically, we found a dog that we thought looked most like freaking you. Beady, freaking sunken eyes, hairy all over, freaking hair sticking up. The thing looks kind of like a gremlin, if you have ever seen one. And geez Louise, down on my knees. I haven't been able to meet him yet, but word is he'll be arriving tomorrow morning, and I'll be dropping him off at your freaking house. The papers are signed. He's freaking definitely neutered. And I said the only way that this dog will bond with freaking Doug Jordan is if, you guessed it, he has been freaking completely freaking neutered and castrated. And they guaranteed me, they said we don't castrate the animals, but we do neuter them. And I said, well, if you can throw in a free castration, that would sweeten the deal. This dog, welcome to your new freaking dog, freaking Scrappy or Scruffy.
I didn't want a new dog. And second of all, how did you even get to talk to the freaking people at the animal shelter doing what you freaking did?
Geez Louise, down on my knees, I'm freaking cleaning up their freaking dog poop all over the freaking kennels. And geez Louise, down on my knees, they've gotten to know me and freaking love me. And I've shown them my freaking papers, which say that I'm freaking criminally insane. And, you freaking guessed it. They took freaking pity on me. And I told them I got a great new home for this freaking ugly little dog. And they said, great. And I also had your freaking, driver's license and your social security numbers to show them to prove that you are an up freaking standing citizen with a good job. So congratulations, you Scraffy is yours.
Their only freaking stipulation at the freaking animal shelter was that freaking Taylor didn't take care of the freaking dog.
Yeah.
And he said, promise you, freaking won't be anywhere near the freaking dog. Neither will freaking Sandy. And they said, who's freaking Sandy? And it was and I was on freaking speakerphone the whole freaking time.
Yeah. And then he started freaking talking to the people from my freaking pocket.
I said, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
I said, who the are you?
Yeah.
I said, this is freaking Doug's freaking new dog. I'm freaking so drunk.
Yeah.
I said, this is freaking Doug's dog.
Yeah.
And
we're going to be dropping Scraffy off to you basically tomorrow freaking morning. So what time do you go to work? Because that's where we'll be, and that's and we're coming right for you. And geez Louise, down on my knees. Can't wait to see the look in your eyes when you get to meet Scraffy. You get to meet Scabby. Get to meet
freaking Shrimpy.
He's a freaking beautiful dog.
Scabby.
Yeah, but I didn't want a freaking dog.
I can't wait.
I got a wife. I got a kid. I got to freaking. I got to talk to them about this stuff before I can't just bring home a freaking dog.
And you're freaking welcome. And geez Louise, down on my knees. As soon as you can get us the freaking cash that we put up for the freaking dog, you freaking guessed it. That would be great.
I'm not giving anybody cash till I get.
Excuse me, sooner rather than freaking later.
Yeah, no, I'm not giving anybody cash until I get the money that you guys freaking owe me.
I don't know who you got any freaking money.
Yeah. What are you freaking talking about?
Sandy, you know you owe me a lot of freaking money. You even just mentioned it a couple minutes ago when you said, and I used, to quote you, you said, and I even used some of that freaking money that I freaking should have given to you.
He was freaking joking.
Money. Yeah, it was. And also that's freaking money that you owe me. I freaking bought you a freaking dog.
No, I didn't want a freaking dog. And second of all, you owe me freaking money for getting you out of jail and freaking flying you out from Mexico back to freaking Rochester and then back to freaking all the way back to freaking Satellite, New York, and then you owe me a lot of freaking money. And freaking Teddy owes me money, and honestly, so does freaking Taylor.
I freaking miss that guy. Where is he? That guy's freaking hilarious.
Yeah, I think he might be real freaking sick, and he's using a freaking cane right now. Last week, CNN reported on a story of an Ohio woman who had to have both her arms and legs amputated after being licked by her dog. After coming home from a vacation in Punta Cana, Marie Traynor was hospitalized for a severe fever. When she awoke 9 days later, she no longer had arms or legs. Doctors diagnosed Traynor with an infection from bacteria Caponacatoga with a terrible bacteria, and they said she most likely contracted the disease from her dog, a German Shepherd, who had previously licked an open cut. According to CDC, 74% of dogs carry the infectious disease, and 3 out of 10 people who develop a severe infection die. So, I hope freaking Scrabby doesn't freaking have, I hope he doesn't lick any of your wounds, or your wife's wounds, or your son's wounds, or Sanjay's wounds, and geez Louise down on my knees. Maybe just give him some freaking Clorox bleach on his tongue and a sponge, and I'm sure that'll just wipe it right out.
I don't think the dog is gonna have that disease. So I mean, 74% of dogs do, but I think he's probably gonna be fine. But also, I don't want the freaking dog.
Imagine freaking Doug Jordan in a wheelchair.
Yeah, Doug. Right now, I'm freaking imagining you with no freaking arms and no freaking legs.
And he's got a freaking hilarious freaking blanket over his lap, and then just a pile of freaking fish on it. And he's blowing into that little mechanism that makes
really
it
not
freaking
funny.
Yeah,
None of this is funny. Imagine Doug in a freaking wheelchair. Imagine if that freaking happened to you, if you had no freaking arms and legs. Imagine if that freaking happened to Sandy, who's missing a freaking pinky, and then that's freaking that's funny to you that I'm gonna freaking be hurt. That I got to use a freaking wheelchair for the rest of my life. That's the kind of thing that you guys find is freaking funny.
Imagine if the freaking wheelchair started freaking malfunctioning.
You guys are
it's just freaking spinning around in freaking 360s, and the freaking bag that's full of his freaking and freaking shit comes freaking open up and it freaking flies all over the place. And freaking Doug's freaking got no arms, no legs. Freaking the wheelchair is just freaking going around and around and around and around.
And the only reason he's got the freaking bag is because it just allows him to deliver more freaking fish. He doesn't even need it. It's hilarious. Yeah. Last week, Breakthrough Listen, the premier extraterrestrial intelligence program that has been monitoring radio frequencies in space since the invention of radio, will be adding a new monitoring system to their outpost, according to Space.com. Using newly developed technology known as the Very Energetic Radiation Imaging Telescope Array System, or VERITAS, the team will now be able to look for other types of communications from alien life. The group believes that messages may be sent via laser beams from distant parts of the cosmos, and now they will be able to monitor any activity using the Veritas at the Fred Lawrence Whipple Observatory in Armando, Arizona. So my freaking question is, and I'm just going to jump right into it, why are we building a freaking telescope to look at freaking laser beams that they're shooting at us when not building a freaking cannon to shoot a freaking laser beam back and kill them all?
Well, I mean, we got to know if they're there first before we can build anything, probably.
My only freaking question is, how did these freaking people get their hands on a freaking copy of freaking Biohacker and just freaking steal this right from their freaking pages? This is a freaking Biohacker.
A lot of this is in the freaking first Biohacker movie, and the second one, and there's gonna be
the third one.
Yeah, and it's definitely gonna be in the fourth one when we get to that one.
Yeah,
Veritas is And basically, I spoiler alert to Weakers and Tweakers out there who love Breakthrough Listen and Space.com. Yeah, Veritas, they all freaking die because they're looking right at the laser beam as it gets shot right into their freaking eye, and the whole freaking place explodes in freaking Armando, Arizona.
Yeah, and freaking Biohacker's there, and he says, "Somebody order freaking pizza."
Yeah, because they look like pizza when they blow up, Doug Jordan. Because of all their freaking brains and body parts. And in that movie, you're in a freaking wheelchair. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really want to talk to you guys anymore.
You're covered in freaking.
Yeah. Last week, Canadian actress Shay Mitchell announced that since becoming pregnant, she has begun wearing diapers, according to E! News. On her latest episode of her YouTube series, Almost Ready, the 32-year-old explained the reasoning for her dependable choice. I swear to God, in half an hour, I went to the bathroom probably 22 times last night to the point where I was like, I'm f***ing wearing diapers, Mitchell said. The actress, model, author continues to be candidly honest about her pregnancy as she explores the journey to motherhood through her YouTube freaking series. So when I freaking read this, I'm thinking she's freaking lying. She's not being that freaking candid or that honest. And the reason she's wearing diapers is from all the freaking pressure on her freaking bowels from the freaking fat baby that's freaking stuck inside of her freaking belly that's pushing on her bowels, and it feels like a giant poop in her, and it pushes all the freaking poop out every time it freaking kicks. It's kicking on her freaking bowels and pushing freaking diarrhea out into her freaking diaper. And geez Louise, down on my knees, Miss Mitchell, I know exactly how you freaking feel. Every time I eat a big freaking submarine freaking sandwich, I feel the same freaking way. I say, geez Louise, down on my knees, I got to make room for all this.
Yeah, I got nothing to say.
You ever think about this, Doug Jordan? And you do have something to say because I know you are a freaking great radio freaking man, and you are an excellent personality and a hilarious freaking person. You ever think about this, Doug Jordan? When you're sitting on a toilet, you know when you're sitting on a freaking toilet and you're eating something and you're thinking, geez Louise, I'm just an endless track of in and out. I'm basically a circular cycle. When let's say you're eating a sandwich and you're sitting on the toilet, or you're eating a freaking chicken wing, or maybe a hot dog especially.
And, a freaking sloppy Joe.
And as you're biting and swallowing, the sloppy Joe is coming out of your rear end while the hot dog's going in your fore end.
No, I don't eat on the freaking toilet because I think that's freaking disgusting.
Why?
Imagine having a freaking bowl of freaking mashed freaking potatoes and a freaking ear of corn, and you're freaking on the toilet. And as you're freaking eating the corn, it's freaking coming out of you in the freaking other end.
Yeah, that's also not how the freaking digestive tract works.
Doug, what the hell just happened to you?
I got stuck on saying the word. It's not how the digestive tract works. It's a freaking hard word to say. Digestive tract. There you go. That's not how it freaking works.
Doug, what the hell was that?
I got stuck. I couldn't say digestive tract. It was difficult. Did you ever get stuck on freaking words all the time? And I don't freaking call them out.
That never freaking happens to me.
That's definitely freaking happened to you on the radio. It's definitely freaking happened to Taylor on the freaking radio too. And you know, sometimes words get freaking stuck. What do you want me to freaking say?
Doug, this is not good freaking radio.
Then why is he freaking calling me out about it?
Well, first of all, hold on. Let me stop you right there. What do you mean freaking sometimes words get stuck? Doug, what the hell does that even... Listen to what you're freaking saying here, Doug. It doesn't freaking mean anything.
You get stuck on the word. It happens.
Sometimes words get stuck. All right. Okay. Freaking Doug said it, so...
Yeah. I want to tell people at freaking Merriam-Webster, go ahead and put that in the freaking dictionary. Doug said it, and Doug knows freaking best, according to him and him alone. Last week, a United Airlines flight from Glasgow, Scotland to Newark, New Jersey was canceled after 2 pilots failed a breath test prior to boarding the airplane, according to the BBC. The pilots, aged 61 and 45, were arrested but not charged with any crime as of yet. Both men await their court date in custody before the Paisley Sheriff Court. The offenses conflicted with the Railways and Transport Safety Act of 2003. United Airlines released a statement saying they have a no-tolerance policy for alcohol. So, this sounds freaking hilarious, and geez Louise, down on my knees, if you've ever been on an airplane, and I have, it is boring as the freaking dickens. I imagine if they had a few freaking drinkings in them, geez Louise, down on my knees, it'd go much more freaking smoothly.
If you can't drive a car drunk, then you can't freaking drive an airplane drunk.
But the airplane basically flies itself. That's what Sully Sullenberger said.
Well, I mean, sure, there's automation, there's things like that, but in case of an emergency, and maybe the pilot has to go off course for some sort of an emergency, they're not going to be able to freaking fly off course if they're freaking drunk.
I also can freaking drive drunk. Yeah. So I don't think this would be a freaking problem for me.
Yeah, but you're not supposed... First of all, if you think you can drive drunk, you probably can. And second of all, it's freaking dangerous to drive drunk, and it's against the freaking law.
See, if they let these freaking pilots on that plane, I bet you everybody would have been freaking thrilled because they would have been having a freaking party. They would have been blasting freaking music on the freaking plane. Everybody would get drunk because the pilots were leading the freaking party, and they'd have their freaking foot on the gas, and they'd probably be going twice as fast, and everybody would get there twice as freaking quickly. Is that a freaking problem?
I mean, I don't think that I've never been on an airplane where the freaking pilots just started freaking partying with you.
Doug, that's not a freaking answer to the question.
Yeah, there's a movie. There's a whole freaking movie about it, and it's called Soul Freaking Plane, and it's starring freaking Snoop Dogg, and it's starring freaking
Tom Arnold.
Yeah, is Tom Arnold in that?
Yeah.
That's freaking hilarious. Can you imagine Tom Arnold beefing with, not beefing, porking, he's having freaking sex with freaking Roseanne? What did it look like, Doug Jordan? And when they were having sex, could you even see two people in that? Or did they just meld into one blob?
Why are you asking me this question? I mean, they look like two people having sex. What else am I supposed to freaking say? You guys go off and talk about how it would look. I don't ask me those kinds of questions.
Doug, there's no reason to get upset here. This is good freaking radio. This is great radio.
You got me a freaking dog. You keep calling me out for getting stuck on freaking words, which happens to pretty much everybody.
This is bad radio, but that was good. What we were doing just before it was great radio.
Then go ahead, freaking talk about it. I don't freaking care.
Yeah, I want to hear you freaking talk about it.
What do you want me to say? It's going to look like two people having sex.
Not you, freaking Doug. I want to hear freaking Taylor talk about Tom Arnold and Roseanne having sex with each other and melding into one amorphous blob.
Imagine when you get a couple of pieces of silly putty, and they're both covered in freaking hair, and they've been rolled on the rug too long, and the dog's hair is all caught into them, and you make them into basically the most outrageous shape of two humans as you can, and then you put them together, and then just mash them together long enough, you're just gonna have one piece of giant hairy silly putty. And that's basically what I'm saying. It looked like when freaking Tom Arnold, and they were and were they eating anything while they were freaking doing it? Most likely. What do you eat when you have sex, Doug Jordan?
Yeah, I don't eat when I take a shit, and I don't eat when I have sex. So what do you eat when you have freaking sex, Taylor?
Bologna sandwich.
Yeah, I did actually have a freaking bologna sandwich. That was one of the freaking things I had, and I've only had sex once, so I've done a lot more eating than I have had sex. So maybe I should do freaking sports desk from now on with freaking Taylor, the freaking Sandman, freaking Loudon. Last week, a 7-year-old boy from India had 526 teeth removed from his mouth during a trip to the dentist, according to CNN. The boy, who was brought to the dentist due to a severe swelling in his mouth, is said to be suffering from compound composite odontoma. According to surgeons, the operation took 5 hours and produced almost half a pound of teeth-like objects, as some of the teeth were more developed than others. So this guy got a freaking ton of freaking teeth in his freaking head, and geez Louise, down on my knees. What kind of advantage would that give you, Doug? Or Sandy? Actually, how about we just give that to freaking Sandy?
What was the freaking question? How many... What is the advantage of having freaking 500 and freaking billion freaking teeth?
Yeah, yep, exactly.
I don't know. I don't think it sounds bad. It sounds bad to me. This isn't a good freaking question. It doesn't freaking sound like anything. I don't know.
Let me ask you this. Is this the freaking shark boy that we've all been worrying about for so long coming to life and coming to freaking get us? And now the shark can freaking breathe and walk around, and he's got all the freaking teeth. And this kid opens up his giant freaking teeth-filled mouth, and then you freaking guess it, there's just rows and rows of freaking teeth. Doug Jordan, what do you do if this kid comes after you and your boy? And do you kill another child to save your own? A Sophie's choice, if you will.
Well, I mean, the kid got the teeth removed, so I don't think he's really dangerous anymore.
That was a smart move by the dentist. Remove all of his freaking teeth, even the freaking ones that he needs, and maybe he can freaking eat freaking Jello from now on. There's plenty of things you can eat without teeth. Doug Jordan, what's the best food that you can eat without freaking teeth? Maybe this is your realm. Take it to the sports desk with this one.
There's a lot of foods you can eat without teeth. I have my wisdom teeth pulled 20 years ago. I mostly ate some soup, pudding, Jello.
What's your favorite soup?
But it depends. Sometimes I like New England clam chowder. Or I'll also, I'll like minestrone soup is pretty good. It's got the beans and the vegetables and noodles in there. What's your favorite kind of freaking soup?
I like the freaking crackers they bring when they bring you soup.
Why didn't you? Yeah, obviously, you asked me what my favorite kind of soup was.
Doug, I'm freaking thinking.
Oh, and then you're going to get on my case about freaking good radio and bad radio. You know, bad radio is freaking dead air. When I ask you a question, what kind of soup you have, at least freaking talk and say,
Tomato.
Okay,
Tomato
there you
soup.
go. Tomato soup. Taylor, what's your favorite kind of freaking soup?
Mine is the grilled cheese when it comes with the freaking tomato soup. So throw that soup right out and then say, I spilled my soup. Can I have another soup with another grilled cheese? You can pretty much do that on a freaking loop. Last week, National Public Radio reported on a Seattle man whose mission is to bring toilets to the homeless. Mark Lloyd has been assembling makeshift bathrooms using tents, 5-gallon buckets, toilet seats, and cat litter for over 3 years. He sets up the latrines, complete with toilet paper and sanitizer, at homeless encampments around the Seattle area. So, according to Lloyd, he believes he has given away 75 to 100 of these commodes.
Yeah, I've seen these freaking things all around the freaking city, and yep, you guessed it. I've freaking used them. I freaking puked all over one.
Yeah, that's probably why he's made so many of them, because you're making a mess of them. Now, NPR did something that was a little freaking surprising to me, and they usually are known for their freaking great reporting, but they didn't say anything about the freaking cleanup. Doug Jordan, how would you clean up one of these things to make sure that it can be continue its use? Describe the process of cleaning up one of these freaking commodes.
Well, I mean,
in detail.
There's cat litter in there, so the cat litter, it's going to react to the urine, it's going to clump up, and then your poop, is going to go in the sand. So I'm sure somebody comes by with a friggin' scooper and he cleans them out. He cleans out the friggin' poop and pee.
In the photo that I saw, it was bagged. So do you just remove the bag, and is this poor freaking guy loading up bags of homeless freaking turd onto a freaking flatbed truck and driving it out to and what? You can't just throw that away at the dump. You got to bring, because I worked at the freaking dump and I tried to freaking throw my own feces away there, and they freaking wouldn't let me.
Why can't you throw away your own feces at the freaking dump? If you can throw away cat poop and freaking dog poop,
you're actually not supposed to throw cat poop or dog poop away into your trash either. You're actually supposed to throw away baby poop, cat poop, dog poop. It's supposed to all be freaking flush, and you can freaking look that up. That's a freaking Lofton freaking guarantee. I worked at a freaking dump for many years until I was fired for an explosion due to a methane gas buildup deep down that I was trying to help. I was trying to help freaking release the gas safely, but either way, all's well that ends well. When I read this freaking story, I think part of the joy of being homeless is the freedom to do whatever you freaking want, wherever you freaking want. And then this guy's encroaching on that by putting freaking toilets everywhere, and now they can't do it the way they freaking want to do it.
I mean, if you were homeless, don't you think you would miss sitting down on a freaking toilet and freaking taking and then pooping?
Yeah, absolutely.
So he's trying to help them out by giving them a freaking toilet to poop on.
Yeah, it's a good point. And and my last thing I want to say, doesn't hand sanitizer have freaking touch? Jeez, Louise, down on my knees. Freaking hand sanitizer has freaking alcohol. Sandy the Sandman Farkas, is that true or is that false? And can you get drunk off of it?
Never tried to get freaking drunk off of it. Have gotten drunk off of freaking mouthwash. No hand freaking sand. I'm freaking drunk right now.
All right. Weakers, tweakers, thrill seekers, this has been a great show. But before we go, I want to do a little impromptu thing here that we hadn't planned, and I would never freaking plan something as stupid as this because I had no idea things were going to break down so much, and tensions were going to get so high in this room, and so the tensions in this room were going to get so high they were going to travel all the way via freaking satellite New York back to freaking Seattle, freaking Washington. How are we going to go forward and make this a freaking feasible show? Doug Jordan, you have the freaking floor, and you have freaking 15 seconds to speak your mind. So go ahead.
Yeah, stop making up freaking stories about me. When I freaking talk, don't tell me that I'm a freaking idiot or whatever you're gonna do. When I stutter, don't, or stammer, or I get stuck on a freaking word. Maybe don't freaking bring it up every single freaking time.
That's 15 seconds right there. But aren't you freaking partially to blame? And if not partially, then mostly. And you can't respond to that. Sandy, how is Doug Jordan to blame for basically everything that we're dealing with right now? Doug Jordan, you had your time. Respect Sandy's time. You have 1 minute, Sandy.
Thank you. Well, I do want to think about this for a little while, because I would rather formulate in my head the perfect freaking response before I just freaking jump into it. Thank you. With that being said, I would say that, geez Louise, I don't freaking remember the question.
It's okay. And honestly, you still got freaking time on the clock, so you can just keep freaking spitballing if you want to.
Great. Yeah. The thing about it, and the thing that I want to freaking say is that, Doug, you just gotta freaking bring your freaking A game.
Yeah. That's 1 minute. He did it right.
Yeah.
He did it in the time slot. So Doug, just going forward, and this isn't a freaking criticism into you, because I think you're freaking great. Every time I got a freaking problem, I call you in the middle of the night. You're freaking there, and you're a freaking very nice guy. You throw the best freaking barbecues anyone's ever freaking been to. And
Agreed. 100% freaking agreed. Best freaking barbecues of my freaking life.
And I don't know what I would do without you in those freaking hilarious barbecues, and I can't wait for the next one. So if you can just work on bringing a freaking A game, I think we'd have a much better freaking show. And I think that we'd have a much better time interacting with each other. And, I've learned a lot at my group home, and I know that when there's a problem, the best thing you can do is freaking have an equal conversation with allotted times to discuss the situation. And that's what we did here today, and I think we accomplished something. So...
I had 15 seconds, and Sandy had a minute, and you had however the long you wanted. So, I mean, I don't think that was a fair allotment of time.
Well, now you just went over, so...
Yeah, Doug, it was perfect until that.
Yeah, for Weakers and Tweakers out there, we will move forward as we always freaking do with our freaking heads to the past, but we go strive toward the freaking future, and next week we're going to bring you an A-game freaking show. That's the freaking Doug Jordan freaking guarantee, and he said it in his words in the 15 seconds that he misused. So, Weakers, Tweakers, Thrill freaking Seekers, thank you for listening to freaking Our Week in Review. This was a great freaking hilarious freaking show, and we'll be back next week as we always are. If you like our freaking show, you can go ahead and freaking leave a comment on freaking iTunes or Apple Podcasts, and geez Louise, down on my knees, we'll be here every freaking week for you. We love you so freaking much. We're so freaking hot in the for you, and we'll see you freaking next week. I think that went pretty freaking well.
Yeah, I gotta go.
What are you talking about?
I don't like this hanging out stuff after the show. I gotta go. I got a kid and I got a freaking wife I gotta get home to. I gotta have dinner.
That's fine. I'll see you tomorrow, very early freaking tomorrow morning, because I gotta drop Scabby off to you. So.
Yeah, I don't want the freaking dog.
Well, I already signed the freaking paperwork. They were gonna put him down, and now he's got a life because of you.
I mean, Doug, you don't have to take the dog, but if you don't take the dog, they're gonna freaking put it down. You want that freaking blood on your
why
hands?
can't Taylor take the freaking dog? Why do I have to take the dog?
I'm not allowed to have a freaking dog. They barely let me take Donovan to the freaking group home.
Let me go. I got to talk to my wife about it, but I don't want the freaking dog. If we can give it to somebody else, but I'll talk to her about it and I'll freaking see.
Well, who else could we possibly freaking give it to?
I can tell that freaking Scabby is gonna love you so freaking much. Just when I look in his eyes, I can see that, oh my God, you look just like freaking Doug Jordan. It's freaking hilarious.
Yeah. He's freaking doesn't produce freaking testosterone, just like you.
Yeah. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's funny. Gotta go. Bye.
All right.
I love you, Doug.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
I love you, freaking Doug. And
you're both freaking lying, and you know you don't fucking love me. So
maybe we can get a freaking peanut butter and jelly sandwich now.
Doug is freaking hilarious.
Yeah.